Whose hair? It was like any ordinary day in the warehouse. Workers busy sorting and stacking up supplies, forklifts lifting and extracting crates, supply vehicles coming and going. Ben found himself swarmed with work that day. As head of the facilities unit, he had to ensure that everything was in place and all workers were observing the safety rules. His team had just reported a defective shelving unit near the back of the warehouse, and the inspecting authorities would be conducting an annual audit on their safety measurements that week. There was a lot to update, repair, and report. Late in the afternoon, after settling the hardest task of the day at the warehouse, he found himself walking slowly back to his office and thinking about getting a nice cup of coffee to calm himself before tackling the pile of paperwork to submit to his bosses. He was halfway through his coffee when Ricky, his assistant, knocked on his door and requested to extract some files from the storage room. Ben got up, retrieved the key from his drawer, and walked with Ricky to the storage room. The storage room had a special scanner at the door that required one to scan their staff card before entering. Ben was the only staff who could access the room. As an added precaution, he would use a key to unlock the door in case there was a power outage and the scanner became useless. Ricky watched as Ben scanned his card and unlocked the door. They entered the room and Ben reached to his left to switch on the lights. They waited while the lights flickered and slowly lit up the room. Ricky went to the back to retrieve the files while Ben looked around and noted one single fluorescent light bulb that needed replacement. Mentally reminding himself to call the technician for replacement, he went around the back to where Ricky was. "You okay up there? Need a trolley or something?" he asked. Ricky, who was perched on the ladder, grinned.
No, I just need these 2 files for Margaret. She's been hounding me all day for these records with audit around corner and all.
He trailed off. From his position at the top of the shelf, his eyes suddenly widened at the sight of the top of a cupboard opposite his shelf. Ben nudged the ladder with his feet, startling Ricky. He was curious as to why Ricky looked shocked at the sight of the dusty metal cupboard. Ricky slowly climbed down the ladder. His feet almost lost their footing on the lower rung. Without asking, Ben climbed up the ladder himself and looked at the top of the cupboard that had caused Ricky to go pale. Instead of dust as he had expected, there were 5 long hairs strewn all over the top cupboard. Ben could understand hairs on the floors, but not on top of a cupboard. Who would sit on the cupboard in a storeroom to comb their hair and let the strands fall off on the cupboard top? He was the only one with access. He was the only one holding the key. He brought visibly distraught Ricky back to the office. He brought the file personally to Margaret and for the first time looked around at the staff present trying to spot someone with long hair. No one had long hair. Early the next morning, Vicky called in sick. Ben called the technician to replace the fluorescent light and brought him to the storage room. While the technician was busy replacing the light, Ben went to the back and climbed up the shelf ladder again to look at the cupboard. The hairs were gone. A fine layer of dust lay on the cupboard, as if it had been there all along. Goosebumps ran across his arms, all the way up to the back of his neck. He quickly climbed down from the ladder and made his way to the door of the storage room. He flicked through his worksheets casually, pretending to be deep in thought for the sake of the technician who had just completed his job. What do you think? Whose hairs were those? Why was it on top of the cupboard? Why did it disappear this morning? If it had been dusted off, why was there a layer of dust untouched? How could someone come in to clean it when he was the only one with access and key? But Ben knew there was nothing he could do about the situation.